Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for being here, where we get to hear voices of survival. My name is Anissa Palmer. I am the founder and chief executive officer of this organization, I Will Survive Inc. And you will get to hear some real, incredible, heartwarming stories from amazing women and men who've battled breast cancer. Every story is unique. We always love to hear everyone's story, no matter what their journey is. It is important. So I'll start with my mother's story. Karen Palmer was 38 years young when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 4. Now, this was 1990 when unfortunately stage 4 was considered a death sentence. The doctors gave her 6 months to live, and unfortunately, her adopted parents both smoked cigarettes. So we know now the research shows us that second and third hand smoke, unfortunately, can increase our risk for lung cancer. For my mother, her cancer metastasized or spread to the weakest organ in her body. So, in that 6 months, starting chemotherapy, didn't even make it to radiation. Her cancer has spread to her lungs, and she left a husband and 5 children behind. I was 5 years old, and I didn't know the magnitude of what was happening at that time, but God knew. It was after my second tour in Iraq that I realized I can make a difference and serve in another way. The journey of being in Iraq in a time of war, Operation Iraqi Freedom, changed my life forever. My heart goes out to everyone who signed up and didn't sign up in the time of a draft to serve our country. I am grateful for my life. I'm grateful that I never lost a soldier, but we lost so many lives. And I realized, how can I solve a pain point? What's missing in the women's health, breast cancer community? And so I went out in the community knowing what my mother went through by speaking with my father and my older siblings, but also remembering stories. And so there it was. I'm finding out that no one's talking about prevention. There's not a lot of economic support. And so that's how we started. We would listen to the community and seeing what the needs were. I just need food in my refrigerator. We would go in apartments that were empty in the beginning of the organization, where refrigerators were empty. Single mothers, single fathers, parents of children trying to focus on beating the cancer while taking care of their children, taking care of their household, trying to keep a job. That is a lot to ask for one person. We know for the work that we do since 2010, 15 years strong, and we're not giving up. To this day, we have been able to serve over 4,000 families by raising a little over $5 million. Dollars. It's not a lot of money. If you can imagine the financial burden that breast cancer and any cancer has on a family, especially when you go from two incomes by two head of households down to one, and sometimes down to zero. Unfortunately, we've seen this disease hurt so many families. So our goal is we have to move quick. We have to make sure that whenever we get an application, especially if housing is on the line, that we can make sure that we pay that rent, we pay that mortgage, we help keep that utility on, whether it's water in the household, whether it's heat in the winter, or air in the summer, hot months. So I will end by sharing I am honored to serve. I'm grateful to have the amazing team and the amazing board and advisory board members that we have to help us do this work, because Lord knows I cannot do it alone. So thank you for tuning in today. Please, I want to bring up our first incredible, amazing human being that I got the pleasure to meet many, many years ago, Miss Bonnie Claire Stewart. Please share your story. And while she's coming and getting herself set up, we have a disclaimer. We are not giving any medical advice. These are personal stories and personal experiences that we want you to hear. We want you to make sure that you can keep these stories and cherish these stories because these are stories from the heart. Thank you. I am getting a message from my team here that our first speaker and presenter is not on just yet. So please stand by. We are going to move on to our next incredible, amazing human being that I got the pleasure to meet, not just her, but her incredible son. He is almost the age of my young one. And I have so many stories, but I won't keep you. I want you to hear straight from her. Please, as I like to call her, Lady A, we welcome Angela to the stage.
Thank you so much, Anissa. You're such an amazing person. Hi, everyone. My name is Angela Craig. I can say that now, after years of not being able to say that for personal reasons and having to go through this battle after being in an abusive relationship, which made it just that much harder. It was months before my 31st birthday when I found out that I was diagnosed with cancer. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I had a young child and I didn't know how to tell him I had cancer. My neighbor helped me pay for my mammogram because I wasn't sure what was going on with me. And my neighbor told me, she said, if it's nothing, you're leaking from your breast. If it's nothing, pay me back. If it's something, say thank you. I went in for the mammogram that she paid for and found out a week later that it was breast cancer. The doctors went in, performed a surgery, took out a cyst and 4 lumps that were almost at my lymph nodes. From there on, I went to do aggressive radiation and immunotherapy, and lumps start to appear other places. They call this form of breast cancer Paget's disease, meaning that your lumps can be found one place, but lumps can be other places. I had one in the back of my neck, on my spine, in my arm, in my uterus, and in my colon. I Will Survive and Anissa were there with me the entire time. They provided me with so much support, but most of all, support for my son and helping me explain to him what was going on with me. That support with my son was more than I can ever repay. My faith got me through. To any of you that are going through this, that have survived this, I will say be your own advocate for your health. The doctors wanted me to go through aggressive chemotherapy, and I decided to go through radiation. It took longer. The immunotherapy took longer, but I am here. I survived all of my surgeries, including the spinal surgery. My son is now 17 years old, and he has survived this journey with me. I still have those residual effects from treatment, but that's nothing that I can't handle. I have survived the worst of it. I've survived losing my hair, my fingernails, my toenails, and I have along the way gained a sister for the remainder of my life. I don't have sisters. I had no family. I had my son. My brother was away in the Navy. They would only let him come home if I died. The only person that was by my side was I Will Survive in Anissa. And for that, I will be forever grateful. This organization and her selflessness does more than you can imagine. Her amazing board and the new board that she has is doing great things. Great things. I cannot say enough. My story is just one of many. My survival, my thriving is just one of many. You have good days, you have bad days. Allow yourself to have those days. Don't let the doctor tell you that you won't make it overnight. They told me that, they told my son that. As you can see, I made it overnight. I made it years. I will be 40 this year in July. I am a survivor. I'm a thriver. And I will forever, ever be grateful to God, my faith, for having me on this earth. There is nothing more important than paying attention to your body. I had little symptoms, itching of the breast, little leakage from my breast that I thought was just scratching too hard. Nothing major. I felt no lump whatsoever. It took an ultrasound. Even the mammogram just showed what looked like a cyst. Didn't even show a lump. It took an ultrasound to show that there was something suspicious. So be your own self advocate. You may not feel a lump. You may not feel a lump. But if you think that there's something abnormal with your body, or if you've got a friend that tells you, I've been through this, just be safe. Don't be prideful. I'm the most prideful person. Don't be prideful. Take that help. It's okay to take that help. That help could save your life. That help could save your life. And if I have to leave you with anything tonight, it's once again, be your own self advocate. Have faith when it's hard. When I couldn't walk, I had faith. When I couldn't feed myself and Anissa had to come to the hospital to feed me, I had faith. When I had to tell my son against all odds that I would make it overnight and look the doctors in the face, when I had sepsis and all of my organs were shutting down, I had faith. When I couldn't move my arms, I had faith. So have faith. Know that I'm a miracle. Miracles do happen. Be your own advocate. Have faith and take the help when it's offered to you and ask. Thank you. Thank you, Anissa. Thank you, I Will Survive, for allowing me to speak. Anyone that's listening to my words, know that you'll survive. You'll get through this, no matter how hard it is. The pain, all of it, you'll get through it. It's just temporary. I promise you. I promise you. It's just temporary. God bless you.
Thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful words and encouragement to others in their journey. I will never forget the moments coming up there in the hospital with you, moving you out of your apartment. They were threatening to put you out on the street, some of the worst days. And so I'm so grateful that you're here. We get to celebrate your birthday in July. Yes.
Yes.
God. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thank you.
And without further ado, we're going to move into an amazing young lady. She is one of my heroes, as every single person that we've ever worked with, men and women, that it's just an incredible opportunity and journey to be able to work with so many incredible people. Without further ado, whew, you know this person, you know her, you've seen her. We were featured on the Kelly Clarkson show together, and you've heard just a a snippet of her story, but please allow me to welcome Dr. Nicole Anderson to share her story.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, you're coming in loud and clear and beautiful as ever.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here tonight, Anissa. Thank you so much. This is an amazing experience. Um, it's funny, I was reflecting today that this year marks 4 years of being cancer free. And I am, oh gosh, I'm just like really excited. They say that, the science says that after 5 years of being in remission, that, you can just stay cancer free. But faith based me is very much so claiming that we are cancer free. But I'm really excited because the journey from then to now has been extremely transformative. I was reflecting with some colleagues recently about just the journey of how stress can be such a major impact. I was sharing a story with a young lady who was talking about, just some of the things that she was going through in her job. And I had to share with her like my journey, being a former corporate executive, working crazy hours, 45, 50 hours sometimes a week, being completely immersed in trying to build career, balance the social life, also launching a new business. I realized how much I was pouring into other things and not really taking a moment to really notice myself and notice my body and balance the stress levels that I was like piling on. And at that time, being 31, I was doing just enough. That's what I always say. Like drinking just enough water, working out just enough to eat and drink what I wanted to, and just kind of barely balancing, but I wasn't being intentional. And that lack of intentionality led me to a later cancer diagnosis that I was extremely unprepared for. As I mentioned, being 31 at the time, there is a benign tumor that can accumulate for women under 40, excuse me. And so at the time when I noticed this indention in my body, I was like, huh, that's weird. Have I just never noticed this before? Like I was so completely out of tune with myself, with my body, and again, just not prioritizing my physical health. And so, fast forward to seeing this indention, not paying it attention until the point of pain that it caused me to actually do something about it. And I remember my mom scolding me and forcing me, like, you need to make an appointment right now. And thank God for her because sometimes you need those advocates in your life that can truly show up for you, cheerlead, advocate, and push you to push yourself first, right? Be your own cheerleader. But that journey led us through a 2 year diagnosis of triple positive breast cancer. And it's interesting because I didn't realize at the time that the treatments that were created for me to be able to survive a triple positive cancer, they said they had just created that drug maybe 30 plus years ago. And I was like, just how important it is for us to continue to invest in the infrastructure, the medicines to be able to help to find cures and treatments for these types of diseases, but also having on the other side of that preventative care and just being more intentional with like what's needed for us, the mind, body, soul, the whole trilogy of it all within ourselves as well. But going through that process was intense. It was intense. I don't know if we talk enough about, what the true experience is mentally, being the oftentimes the foundation of your families. We've talked to so many survivors who are mothers. I didn't have children at the time, and so I had to go and do IVF to preserve eggs so that I could hold my choice to do so in the future. But I give so much credit to people who have additional obligations, responsibilities that they have to maintain while they're also trying to balance, finding yourself and dealing with the internal battle that goes in when you're going through these types of morality, facing your own morality. And so I'm super grateful because it's services like I Will Survive. It's people like Anissa that show up for you as guardian angels, that create safe space, give you opportunity to just be yourself. You don't feel like another patient. You don't feel like someone who needs to be coddled and held. Sometimes you just want to feel normal, and normal changes. And sometimes you need someone who can just help you with that transition and see you for who you are. Anissa, you probably never heard this story before, but Anissa and I had the privilege of hosting one of her galas a couple years ago, and I was really, really honored to be able to have a moment to speak and be a part of that experience. But what she doesn't know is that earlier in that day, I was completely frazzled. I didn't feel like my skin was breaking out. I was still going through treatments. I was looking at myself and feeling very sunken in. I just didn't see me. And Anissa, the very first thing that she said when she saw me was just so much praise. You look beautiful. It's okay. Take your time. She didn't rush me, didn't make me feel guilty or bad about being delayed because of my own internal battles that I was dealing with. Like, she saw me for me. And you have to have moments and people in your corner when you're going through these life transformational moments that are really testing. Life test is what I call it. Transformation is the process, but it's a test. And oftentimes you need people to study with you, to help you, to push you, to encourage you. And I appreciate that, that was able to come from so many different areas, unknown and unknown. So the services from I Will Survive Again have been insurmountable. We don't take enough credit for how expensive it is to get to and from your treatments, how much that you have to spend to try and maintain that sense of normalcy with your hair, with your makeup. Your literally your physical, your internal ailments are starting to show up in your exterior. And when that transformation starts to happen, it makes it a little bit more difficult to deal with your own, you know, healing process. And I really appreciate the one of the mini gifts, which was a beautiful gift basket with all of these amazing just skincare, facial care, things that were super sensitive for patients that are going through these treatments with these chemicals. It was just so much appreciation because of the intention behind it. So I am forever an amazing advocate and ambassador of all things. I so appreciate you, and again, I encourage every woman and man listening to this call: manage your stress, find your joy. That is your balance, and make sure you get tested. If you see something, do something. That's a big thing.
Thank you so much for your beautiful words. And no, I'd never heard that story. So I thank you so much for sharing. It almost made me cry today.
Love you. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Love you too. Thank you. Whew. Make sure you keep your tissue box close, okay? These stories will move you. So I hope that you're, wherever you're tuning in from, that you're allowing others to join in with you. You're sharing the links so that people can tune into these real stories. These lives are so important, and we never put a dollar value on any of these lives. Each one of them are important. And so we often go out in the community at health fairs, and we get so many men who tell us, this has nothing to do with me. I've never, going to experience this. And then I always remind people that what about Shaft? What about these actors that have shared their stories publicly? These male breast cancer survivors that are experiencing something that many men do not think will ever happen to them. So, this amazing human being we are blessed to work with and serve and show up in his battle with breast cancer. So, please welcome Mr. John King. And as he's getting situated and getting his microphone together, first and foremost, we have served maybe 6 men battling breast cancer in our 15 years in our journey of showing up in the community. Welcome, Mr. Jones.
Hello?
Hello,
I can
Mr.
hear
John.
you.
How are
I
you?
can hear you.
Hello, how you?
Good, good. You have a little bit of an echo. I'm going to mute myself, but please, if we can see you,
You
we
can
would
see
love
me?
to hear you story.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You have some music background, a little bit of an echo. As he's getting, oh, here we go. We have him back. Thank you all for staying tuned in here with us. You've heard stories already from women in Gwinnett County, Fulton County, DeKalb County. We're all over the state of Georgia serving and showing up for families who need us most. And this gentleman who reached out to us is a family member who decided to say, hey, we're going to get some help for you in your battle. So please welcome again, Mr. John King. All right. Well, as he's getting situated, a few technical difficulties we're seeing here. I want to share a story about a young man that I've had the opportunity to meet. And this young man asked me while visiting a beautiful young lady we're showing up for. Hello and welcome.
Okay, how you?
Wonderful.
Well, my son and my daughter-in-law, they wanted me to tell my story. I can't tell the whole story because so much happened. I can only tell you a few things. I can go forever, ever, ever tell you my problem. But I
Well,
will
please
tell you,
share. Yes.
I'm on dollars 3 times a week. I have colon cancer. I have, heart failure, heart something. But anyway, I have a lot of things wrong, but I'm still here. You know, I can thank the Lord, and I can do things for myself that most people can't do for themselves because they're gone with all the problems I have. Because I look at some of the problems I have, I say, oh, that guy dead and I'm still living. So, like I say, I can go on and on with my problems. I have a lot of them, but God, they always say, take care of old people, babies, and fools. I was a fool, ripping and running. Didn't take care of myself like I should have. But now, God still got his hand on me. I get up every morning and say, thank the Lord I'm still here. Make my bed up. I used to make my bed up, take a shower, throw my clothes and get in the streets, but I don't do that no more. I stay home. But like I say, I can go on and on and on and on and tell you the problems that I have. And I can't do them but thank the Lord. I guess I got my 2 grandkids right here with me, you know. One of them, he's 14, and he's been with me ever since he's been 17 months old. And he's a good kid. Everybody loves him. And the little one, they smart kids. They on what y'all on?
What grade?
Special, yeah.
Fourth. Really going to
But
fifth.
anyway, they real smart, and I thank the Lord for that. You know, I have 3 kids. They real smart, and I thank the Lord for that. Took care of my family, and I took care of myself, and I always took care of my kids. And God blessed me with a good job. And that's one thing I can think. I don't have to worry about somebody giving me something. I'm begging for something. I go to the best of hospitals and everything, you know. And I guess that's one of the reasons I'm still here. But like I say, I can go on and on and on. Like dialysis, I tell you about that. I won't mess with the rest of the stuff. When that happened with me, dialysis, one kidney stopped working, and they took that kidney out. The other kidney never stopped working. It was a good kidney, but it had something in it. I don't know if it was cancer or what. But they know nobody in the world could operate on me. because I would have bled out. So they said the best thing to do is take that kidney out. So they took that. I don't have no kidneys. I used to walk around and say, "You don't got no kidneys." I don't got no kidneys, but I'm still here. Now these other things came on later, pacemakers and all that. I have all, like I say, I told the guy, I'm dead, but I'm still here. And thank the Lord for that. I just told you about my dialysis, and I won't go no further than that. Okay? And I thank you, like my daughter-in-law and my son wanted me to come and tell some of my story. And I just to tell about my dialysis. 'Cause I have so many things. I'll be talking to you from now on. You know what I mean? Telling y'all my problems. And thank you for listening to me. And you have a good day.
Thank you so much, Mr. John, for sharing your story. We are here with you, and we believe that anything that you need, we're going to be right here with you in this journey. We're so grateful for one of our partners. The Open Hand Atlanta allows us to provide medically tailored meals now to anyone who's in need. So I hope those meals are coming soon to you. I know that you communicated with our nurse to help ensure that we can get those meals out to you. So thank you for working with us to be
Okay, thank you.
to you.
You have a good
Absolutely.
day and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Well, you heard from John King, and grateful that he has family around to bring him to an organization like ours to help with other things that he needs. And as you heard from him, he was diagnosed with breast cancer later on after a colon cancer diagnosis, after dealing with different health disparities. And so, really, really grateful that he is doing one thing that research shows us that's also important in a diagnosis journey, and that's faith. And so, as you can see, he has a lot of it, and it's going to help in his journey. Thank you to everyone who showed up and shared their stories with us here today. We're hearing voices of survival, breast cancer survivor stories, breast cancer patient stories, and other health disparities. And so I am going to see if we have any questions that came up from our audience tuning in live from YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And so if I don't see any questions that came up, I am going to turn it over to the amazing Martha, serving as the Art Jazz Gala Chair and amazing board member. Thank you so much, Martha, for your leadership, and so grateful to have you join us today.
Thank you, all of the survivors that shared their story. I don't think I had enough tissue. No one prepared me for the stories that was going to come. So thank you all. We are all so grateful for you sharing your story. I wanted to speak a little bit of me sitting on the board and then a little bit about our art and jazz gala. So once again, I'm Martha Dockery, and I have the honor of serving with Anissa on the board of directors for I Will Survive. And for me, it's more than a title. It's a responsibility because this work is personal, as you can hear. You heard everybody talked about how personal this work is. It's about people. It's about families. It's about the moments that don't make it into statistics, right? So it's about who we are. And at I Will Survive, we're not just talking about breast cancer. We're standing in the gap between awareness and action. We're creating spaces for survivors to be seen and heard, like tonight, communities to be educated and empowered, and lives to be impacted through early detection and support. And you know what makes this organization so powerful? It's Anissa. It is rooted in community. We don't wait for people to come to us. We come to the people, and we meet people exactly where they are and whatever they need. We listen, we show up, and we build trust one conversation at a time. And someone who spent 20 years in research, I've seen what happens when communities are left out the conversation. And I've also seen when it's possible when we're intentionally bringing them in. It's not awareness, it's not just support, it's a movement. And that movement says no one should face this journey alone. No one should lack access on information, care, or community. And tonight, whether you're here as a survivor a supporter, a sponsor, or a guest, you are a part of this movement. So I'll leave you with this. This is more than an event, it's a moment. This is our mission, and we can't do it without you. So I would love to share about our Art and Jazz Gala 2026. That is April the 18th at Trees Atlanta. I would tell you to scan the QR code to purchase a ticket, but a little birdie told me tonight that I think we are officially sold out. So, with that being said, scan it, get on our wait list for next year. We are super excited to bring this fundraiser, our annual fundraiser, to raise funds so we can continue to do what we do. We can continue to stand in the gap for housing, for food, for care, for transportation. It's been said over and over again tonight, cancer journey is not cheap, and no one should fight it alone without the resources they need. So once again, I thank you all for showing up. I thank you for being here. And we are www.iwillsurvive.org. Please sign up, volunteer. There's so many things to do. So please, thank you. And Anissa, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely, Martha. Thank you so much. It is beautiful, and we are excited. I am so glad. Thank you for saying that we are officially sold out. So yes, early bird tickets will be up soon. There's a special for attendees to get those tickets. They are live to be sold at the event, and then you'll see that for the rest of the community who did not get tickets to get those early bird tickets for 2027. We're going to have a blast, live music, incredible. I can't even share all of it. It's going to be amazing. Super, super excited about it. Thank you all for tuning in, no matter where you tuned in from, on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Stay connected with us and make sure, no matter what you do, you stay on top of your health. As you heard from these amazing, incredible human beings, men and women, in their various health journeys, they're paying attention to their bodies, they're listening, they're feeling month to month their breast self exams and other things from their head to their toe. They're making sure they're tuning in on what's going on with their health. And when, as even Dr. Nicole Anderson said, when you see something, say something. Talk to your PCP or your primary care provider. Make sure that you're staying on top of all of those things and reminding other loved ones around you to do the same thing. So, without further ado, enjoy the rest of your day. For those who are joining us to celebrate and honor and love on the incredible survivors, thank you for coming out to join us on April 18th at the 13th Annual Art Jazz Gala. And for those who did not make it this year, we'll look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you so much.